Quick, who's the most attractive out of these 10 strangers? Wrong, it's not her.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive are you?
Maybe I'll say 1. You're a 2.
Me? 2? This isn't a video on feminism. This is a video on how to be attractive when you're ugly. That being said, here's tip number 1 on being less ugly. Don't be a feminist. So I was looking in the mirror the other day and realized, dang, I'm single. Ugly, single, it's the same thing, right? Like, single people only exist because they're ugly, at least in the eyes of other people. For example, if you're a 10, you can settle for 1, but like, why would you when you feel like you're attractive enough to pull a 10? Now that would be fine if 10s also thought you were 10, but if they think you're a 1, why would they ever give you a shot? And that's the problem. Single people are only single because there's a mismatch in how people perceive attractiveness. Or because they play League of Legends. Look, I know I'm not a 10, but I'm still single. Bye you! I'd like to think I have some redeemable traits, but no one's ever really called me cute. No one's ever had a crush on me. No one's even ever called me mid, which, to be honest, kind of makes sense because I only shoot 3s. But what exactly is a 3, and what's the line between a 2 and a 3? Am I really a 2? That ugly woman thought so, but she's only a 1, so what the heck does she know about being attractive? Oh look, it's me. Incel. I'm kidding. Maybe. We need to find a way to scientifically prove just how attractive any given person is so that we can end singleness once and for all. If we can definitively say who's hot and who's not, then we can find out what hot people have in common that the nots don't have in common, and oh, that's weird. Anyways, the reason I want to find out which traits make people attractive is because then I can adopt those traits and pass those traits on to my offspring so that we can both be hot. Kind of like eugenics, but much more holistic. Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to say that. Anyways, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to create a scientific scale of attractiveness by polling people on how attractive they are. Now, what about this is scientific? Well, there's this thing in science called the law of large numbers, which is not a fat joke, but a theory that basically says that a large enough sample is good enough to represent a whole population. This is great for us because it means if we ask enough people how attractive they are, we can create a scale of attractiveness to represent the entire human population. So we're gonna use a sample of 10 people. Okay, fine, 20. 10 guys, 10 girls, ladies go first, but the guys will only rate guys and the girls will only rate girls because, you know, if a guy calls a girl a 2, he's gonna be called an incel in the comments, and you already know I gotta watch out for my boy. Now, the hardest part about creating a scientific scale of attractiveness is that everyone has a different reference point on who is the most attractive person in the world, so when you ask someone if this random stranger is pretty, a person with high expectations might say no, while someone with low expectations might say yes, and when this happens, you're essentially working on 2 different scales. So to offset this, we're gonna give everyone the first reference point so that everyone's on the same scale. For most people, it'll be a selfie of the previous person and the rating that person gave themselves. But for the first person, they don't have someone before them to reference. So the only logical thing to do will be to have them base their entire scale off the objectively most attractive person in the world. So I'm gonna show you a photo, and you're just gonna react to it.
I'll give her a 9.
Wrong, she's a 10, and if she's a 10, what are you?
I would say a 3.
Good, or I don't mean like good for you thinking you're unattractive, I mean like good, we can keep moving forward with the video instead of listening to opinions that don't matter. So take that selfie and let's keep moving. She's a 3 on the scale, where are you on the scale?
5.
She's a 5, where are you on the scale?
7. I just have more like uniqueness about myself. I would want someone with like a bigger personality who like really likes to express themselves.
So her clothing's plain.
Black hoodie, plain earrings, not a lot of piercings, no hair dye.
She said that she's a 7. She's a 7, where are you?
A 7.
She rated herself a 7. Where would you put yourself on the scale?
5. I mean, she's pretty. She's pretty as hell.
She put herself as a 5. Where do you rank on that scale?
5.
She gave herself a 5. If she's a 5, what are you?
What? You can't just put numbers on people?
I'm not, you are.
If she's a 5, I'll say a 2. Okay, I have to make myself look better because if you're gonna do this for another girl, I don't want to be put at a 0.
She gave herself a 2.
No, really? I don't even know her, but I love her. She's a 2, dude. I'm like a 2.
She looks like she got to study for midterms or something because like, you know, she in like that comfy fit.
She gave herself a 2.
Why would she do that? She's like a solid 12.
She is a 10.
5 is average, she's a 2. Where are you on the scale?
I'll say 2.
So you think you're just as attractive as her?
Actually, maybe I'll say 1. She looks like this without like any makeup.
What would you think if I told you that she put herself at a 1?
No, I don't think she's a 1. I think she's really pretty.
So she's a 1. Where are you on the scale?
If she put herself at a 1, then I'm like a 0.
And there's the female scale of attractiveness. We just gotta add the boys now, and to start, the first reference point will be the most attractive man in the world. According to the people, of course.
If he's a 10, where do you lie on the scale?
An 8.
Where do you think he is on the scale?
Like a 5.
You're wrong. He's an 8. Where are you on the scale?
Like a 7.5.
So you think he's more attractive than you?
Well, then no. Like a 9.5.
If he's a 9.5, where do you lie on the scale?
6.5.
What do you think about this man?
I think if he held the camera more like eye level, it wouldn't look like he's short.
How tall do you think this guy is?
I don't know. You know how people don't like, they're not racist and they say they don't see color?
Yeah.
I don't see elevation.
So you can't tell when you're high?
This guy's a 6.5. Where are you on the scale?
5.5. All right, 1, 2.
Homie looks super friendly and he does all his homework.
Where would you put yourself on that scale then?
If he's a 5.5, like a 5.5, right?
He's Remy.
Oh, you know this guy, okay.
I mean, it's sexy.
He gave himself a 5.5.
What the hell?
If he's a 5.5, where are you on the scale?
4.
He looks like a computer science major.
When was the last time you've seen a CS major hang out with a girl?
5 is average, he's a 3. Where are you?
I'll say like a 5.
So you think you're average?
Yeah. I would say like very plain, run-of-the-mill, like white person.
He gave himself a 5. Where are you on the scale?
3.
He's a 3. 5 is average. What are you?
7.5, 8.
So you think you're more attractive than him?
Even it out at 7.
So you still think you're more attractive than him?
Give me 6.
So 6, you're still more attractive than him though.
You know what, let me match him. Let me go 3. I can't do my brother like that. He's brown too like me, so I can't f him up that.
If he's a 3, where are you on the scale?
I'll go 5.
And that's the entire scientific scale of attractiveness. Now, before I start to analyze what the attractive people have in common, I need to find out where I am on the scale so that I can ignore all the people uglier than me.
Put me on the scale.
What? That's so mean though. We'll give you a 1. You're a 2.
We go with 3?
A 4.5. 6.5.
9.
If you're like a 24.
If she's a 5, then I'll be a 3, and then you can be a 2.
Oh, I could be. So you don't want to put me on a 1. That's what you're trying to say.
Okay, so there are only 5 people more attractive than me, which shows that I'm a pretty good-looking guy, but what do these 5 people have in common that I don't have?
What is the most attractive thing about you?
My eyes.
Racist! Who wrote this script? My middle school bullies? Okay, I'll be honest. The scale is broken. Despite what the racist kid said to me in middle school, I can see with these eyes, and these eyes can tell that I am not as attractive as the other people in this video. Like, to all the people today that called me more attractive than them, it's flattering, it really is, but it's not true. So either you're lying to me, or there's some aspect, some trait to attractiveness that isn't visible to the naked eye. Personality! 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 No, this is not the part where I give some cheesy speech about how if you have a good personality, you can win over any girl you want, no matter how you look, because that's simply not true. Alright, what if the girl of your dreams is Helen Keller? How are you gonna win over a dead person? Are you dumb? What is true, though, is that every line can become a circle. What I mean by this is that instead of thinking of attractiveness as a linear scale, maybe it's a circular one, because unlike a line, you can't tell where a circle starts and where a circle ends. In the same way, maybe how you look and your personality both don't matter, because there is no beginning or end to attractiveness. No one's rating is higher or lower than another because attractiveness is completely subjective. Sure, there are things that most people have the same taste in, like when I asked people what the least attractive thing about me was, 80% of them said
The haircut. The hair.
The haircut?
Wait, you know Park Seo-joon? Yeah. The Pantori haircut.
Do you think that's my hair?
But 20% of people didn't say that because they have good taste, which goes to show just how everyone can think different things. What I'm trying to say is that there's nothing wrong with amplifying what's good in you, and there's also nothing wrong with working on what is bad in you, so long as you're not doing it just for the sake of being more attractive. Because in the end, there really is no guarantee that the person you're crushing on will find you more attractive for working on these things. I think the better mindset is just to have a little bit of faith that the person that God created you to be is really, really good. And there's people out there that think that that person is really, really cute. Like, if it makes you feel any better, every single person I talked to today was super attractive, and they all still had insecurities too.
What is your greatest insecurity?
I used to have like really bad acne.
My chubby face.
For a long time, it's been my height.
The way I lick to some people.
You lick?
The way I lick
Oh,
No,
I thought you
no,
said
no,
lick.
no.
I'm like, you're going around licking people?
I am a human being that does not deserve the right to free speech.
But none of the people who reacted to their selfies even noticed these insecurities. In fact, they all had the same exact reaction when they realized just how low these people rated themselves.
No!
So maybe you're not as ugly as you think. That being said though, I did promise that this was a video on how to be more attractive when you're ugly. I already gave tip number 1, so here's tip number 2. If you want to be more attractive, just be who God created you to be. And get a haircut.
What's the most attractive thing about you?
I would say my personality.